Welcome, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. Last we left off, our coterie of two and their newfound friends made some strides in finding out more information about what's been going on in their domain now that they've had some of their duties removed from them. Instead, having to deal with Dr. Ian Keller being their new primogen, a Malkavian now in charge of the Reclaimed. But it seems that the numbers of the Reclaimed might be growing in these trying times, or at least being found out, and the rug from under which they may have hid is becoming unraveled. So, with that being said, our new night begins. Shriek has told the coterie that he is otherwise indisposed. He is off, possibly doing something to manage some of the things that are going on in the domain, perhaps doing a little bit of that information brokering that he's known so well to do. Perhaps he just needs some time away. And with that being said, it does leave the rest of the coterie and Aaron. Well, what's left of the coterie is Alexandra and Aaron and Dorian to get to know one another maybe some more. Maybe find out more information about these new Thin Bloods that Alex and had spoken to Raphael about. That's maybe discovered for too long. There has to be a reason that the prince might not be aware of it just yet. Perhaps there's a solution that could benefit everyone in this case. But before we get on to that, there is some evening awakening routines to sort of get to know, and before that, I would like rouse checks from the three of you. So Aaron is a little hungrier, Dorian's a little hungrier, Alex is about the same as she was. So let's start off with the hungry Dorian as he's waking this evening. So, while your stomach grumbles as you stand from the bed, what does your haven that you're waking up in tonight look like?
Well, this would probably be the shared haven that I have with my sire before moving out onto my own. Very much. It's very old world decorated. Lots of statues, lots of paintings. Some of which I know are way older than I am. I have no idea where she finds these, or if she's just been collecting things that she's liked over the years. But, I awaken my own little personal space. Very nice desk. Nice computer. Things that I need to manage my books. Probably a few band, memorabilia dioramas on the board of things that I
Promotional
posted at the
posters,
club.
you know.
Yeah, some posters of bands that I have support. But for my routine, I would go about setting up some of the deals that I need to have accomplished this week. I'd go about ordering a new car to some specs that I need. Start working with some of the real estate people that I know to finalize and break ground on and accelerate a housing project that I might have cannibalized. And then realizing that I've been pushing myself too hard and haven't been taking care of myself. That I need to go out and eat.
Before you make your way out the door, you do see that your sire, Liliana, is sitting at her own desk. Seems to be writing a few things with a pen and paper. Perhaps she's doing much of the same as her own ventures in this world need tending to, as perhaps some of them have gone unattended for far longer than she had anticipated. So she's getting back on top of things, as it were. Refamiliarizing herself with the city and the things that she's invested in.
I would just walk up and knock on the door frame.
Good evening, Dorian.
My lady, how have you been doing tonight?
I'm fair. How about yourself?
I'll admit I'm hungrier than usual. I have, with all the things that we've been doing, I've been forgetting to take care of myself. A rookie mistake. I don't plan to make again.
Happens from time to time. Just take care of it now while you can. We shan't let the beast run amok, as it were.
Yes, I don't like not being in control. How have you been? Is there anything that you need before I go about my night?
No, and you need not worry about my needs. I shall be able to fare on my own as well. Given that you are released now.
Just because I'm released does not mean that I still don't want to help whenever I can. If you have any need of me, I'm a phone call away.
Of course.
And he'll get a smile on his face. I'm glad that you are starting to get acclimated.
It is a lengthy process.
I know I grew up among the boom of this technology, and sometimes it still has me baffled. I can only imagine how alien some of it might look to you.
It's a good thing pen and paper still works perfectly fine.
I don't think they'll ever get rid of that. They will try, but...
Well, at the very least, take care of yourself and try not to... Oh, I don't know. How would one say it? I've completely lost the words. Perhaps my faculties are not 100% yet.
Well, you slept for a long time. The grogginess, I imagine, will stick around a proportionate amount. But things will get better.
That's an interesting lesson about torpor. You don't wake feeling groggy in the evenings, do
Really?
you?
Not really. It's strange. When I'm asleep, sometimes I can actually think. Sometimes there's nothing. I've not really... I don't know if there's a rhyme or a reason to it. I'm still getting used to it even after all these years. I can only imagine it changes.
It does somewhat, and in other ways it doesn't. I still wake, if you can call it waking, as mobile as I was the previous night. Hungrier, maybe. Hungrier, definitely. But it's like simply the body just simply stops to function.
Like the strings are cut. That's the
Don't
only
you
way I
feel
can
like you're
think of.
puppeting your own body?
Sometimes. Sometimes it feels like I'm out of control, but that has gotten fewer over the years.
It continues to be a strange sensation. But you acclimate. It is how we function, after all. Fueled by the blood we consume. I won't keep you. You have duties to attend to, I'm sure. Overhearing you speaking in your room, I didn't overhear anything.
Well,
But
nothing too terrible. Few real estate deals.
oh, you're finally
It
getting
should be.
underway on that house you were looking at, right?
That and we can call it a public works project. Some good standing.
Public works.
Yes.
Of what kind?
I'm trying to get ingratiated and on friendly terms with the Hound of the Domain. In order of sorting out a problem for him, I was able to sort out some storage issues for moving the businesses. And hoping that I can build some goodwill with the man. He, the man treated me like kryptonite a little bit when he met me.
Can you blame him?
No, but I do want to. I do want to elevate us back to the status that I think the names should carry the weight of, if I can. It may be a foolish errand, but
I don't think it a fool's errand. Just be aware that our name, the name of Marius Calhoun, will get you far, but also chase you. It is a double-edged sword in these days.
I'm beginning to see that. But thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
I hope you do as well.
And he'll smile and give a little bit of a bow and leave, go out the door, go get into one of his cars.
Alright. And you are headed out to feed, are you not?
I would probably get. Because he's going out to feed, he'd probably get into one of the SUVs.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So taking up one of your SUVs. Still very luxurious looking, even for a sport utility vehicle. One that's got a lot of space in the back seat and in the trunk to take care of any dirty business that you might have, but it's still fairly pristine on the inside, much to your liking. You make your way towards Arlington, which isn't too terribly far from the near downtown Dallas residence of your sire. And so, if you are intending to feed here, I would like you to make me a feeding roll.
Okay.
Typically, the domain is at difficulty 5, or 4, rather. But since you do tend to be a little picky, Mr. Resner, it is going to be a difficulty 5 for you to find something to your taste in a sort of haphazard sort of way, as you haven't established your own facilities here yet to be able to cater to your audience.
Yeah, and I imagine I still have to move my herd and stuff as well.
Your herd is still accessible. They're just
Okay.
they tend to be probably a little more widespread than in a specific place. They don't necessarily need to be moved, but if you were to feed on them, for instance, in a domain that is not your own, and you were caught, perhaps there would be a slap on the wrist or worse. But
Okay.
if you did invite them over to the Arlington domain, for instance, it's Dead Man's Hands domain. And so long as you have their permission to feed on their grounds, who you feed on there is of no difference.
I assume I would have asked for permission to feed, and
It makes sense.
but I will try to leave my herd for emergencies. Cultivate new closer contacts when I start. But let's try this.
Okay.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you and make sure it was okay. Usually it's manipulation subterfuge, but I was wondering if I could use charisma subterfuge and use my personality as opposed to trying to like just lie as opposed and just use like his magnetism and
So your feeding type is what exactly?
he is an Osiris.
Osiris. Okay. So an Osiris uses their fame and clout and leadership skills to command those around them, and that creates your following. You basically
Yeah.
it's very typical of cult leaders, of influencer groups, of social media gurus, those sorts of things to use their image and fame to their advantage. In this case, for feeding on their blood. So it would be a manipulation role, because while you are using your personality to do so, it is with the intent of feeding on them without really, sort of, without it being about your, the intent is a
I'll never
subterfuge
make a
role.
roll then.
Huh?
I'll never be able to make a roll then.
Oh. Why? What's your manipulation?
1. This is a man that does not lie. He is more stoic than a manipulator.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right, well, I guess that means you're being a slut. Siren feeder.
I may have to switch. I may have to switch predator types. Like, it's something I forgot to go over with you.
oh yeah, because I don't know if there's an alternate. Is there an alternate role to
No, it's
Osiris?
just it was a thing I was going to suggest at your discretion.
There is an
Um,
alternate role, but it's, I believe,
It's fame
intimidation
plus-
plus fame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you have any fame backgrounds, do you?
Nope.
There is an alternative feeder type that you can look into in the future called trapdoor feeder, which utilizes charisma and stealth as an option for luring in victims for a fun-filled night. But, that's when you're a little more established. It's an option for the future.
Okay.
So let me look. So in that case, it's not going to be. In that case, since your manipulation and subterfuge is that low, for you, feeding is not going to be a one and done. It is going to be a full sort of venture, as it will. So, where typically, a one and done is, this is how I typically do things. You're trying to find your feet with this whole social media thing, or fame thing, that you're kind of trying to get your feet wet with it. And so, in that case,
I might just have to go with Siren. That was the other one I was looking at. Because that's charisma based, right?
yes, it would still be charisma subterfuge.
Well, that's okay. That was the pool I was looking for.
Okay. Yeah, because you're still kind of using surreptitious methods to garner your thing. I will allow it for tonight. So that we can just continue moving on. So yeah, charisma and subterfuge.
Yeah, I'll have to redo a little bit of rebuilding of the sheet. Which is okay.
Well, since we've got the character on paper, I am a little leery about just willy-nilly about that. So we'll discuss it after session though.
Okay.
So
Charisma subterfuge.
yep. Okay, so that's 4. That does meet the minimum requirement of the domain, but it does mean that you would be falling victim to your bane unless you want to spend willpower.
Well, either way, it's spending a willpower to either choke it down or go for something. So.
Yep. At least with choking it down, it's 2. You could potentially only spend 1 if you are successful on a reroll, or you could succeed at a cost. You can
You
can find your type at a cost.
What would the cost be?
There's a complication in the domain, and you're going to get involved, whether you like it or not.
I mean, it could make for something interesting, but you know what? Because I'm a chaos gremlin, and I'm channeling my inner specter deflector, I'm going to go with the succeed at a cost because I think that sounds interesting.
Okay. Your knight takes you through the streets of the Arlington domain. You're not used to this. You're not used to having to look on the streets to see if you can happen upon someone who is going to fit your specific tastes. It's not like just anyone is going to suffice. No, you're a man of a refined palate. Sure, other blood would satisfy that hunger within you, but it would simply just taste wrong. And that palate is something that you have discovered over the last few years, and you have defined it in a word. And what would that word be, Mr. Resner?
I remember me and you had 2 ideas, and one was people that admired me or people that were attracted to me in some way. I don't remember what we decided to go with.
Well, that's up to you. What do
I
you
think
think would fit in
fitting
this
the theme.
instance?
I think fitting the theme, especially with how the turn's going to go. When I probably should have went the other way when the way I was thinking before, with the siren. We'll go with attraction, and it has to be a strong attraction, not just a base, you know, shallow.
Someone who might want to be more than simply friends, more than simply a physical interaction. No, something that could potentially develop into something more. You want them to want something more. Not that you'll necessarily ever give it to them, but you want them to want that. That is where that flavor comes in. That's where you want them to be. That's what those that you have cultivated have become for you. Your regular sort of interactions with a few members of a club that you run back in downtown. And downtown being the domain of the High Court, you certainly don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes now that you're released. You don't exactly have free reign over there anymore. While you may still get a financial boon from things in that direction, you're now restricted to the Arlington domain. Something that hasn't been developed by your hand yet. Something that needs cultivating. But strangely enough, you find yourself at a church. A lady that you have been sort of wooing in a way all night has led you toward it. And just as you're finishing the last little gulp of this tasty morsel, this very fulfilling, very delectable morsel, this woman she has potential. The flavor is there, it's subtle, but it could be more. It's enough to satisfy that palate of yours, even if just a little. But what you didn't expect is that as soon as you were finished, you hear footsteps coming toward you.
I would make sure that she is presentable. And turn to face whoever is coming and shield her behind me.
Who in the hell are you? You hear from a silhouetted woman against the light from the entryway to the alley. Sort of the lighting of the street level in the front of the building, sort of silhouetting her from view. You do hear it's a woman's voice though.
I'm just gonna cock my head. Do I notice? Do I know who this person is? By sight.
By sight, they're silhouetted. You can't really get a good look at their face at the moment. You know this is a house of God, right?
Generally, they're decorated like this, yes.
Get on up out of here. What in the hell do you think you're doing? These damn kids.
I'm assuming she's still recovering a little bit.
She's
The
your
the lady
yeah
that I fed on.
the person you fed on is definitely very woozy. She's
I'll
definitely
just sit her in
dizzy.
the pew and just like, you rest for a minute, darling. I'll be right back. And I'll start walking towards this person, adjusting my suit as I go and making sure I'm very presentable.
So you're just what? What what's going on here?
Good evening. As I get closer, do I recognize who this person might be?
I don't think you've ever seen this person in your life.
Well, or maybe have an idea because of knowing players and areas, because I've been trying to study up on that.
You've been trying to study up on it for sure. Intelligence and politics.
Okay.
A little bit of a hard one though.
I will spend a willpower to re-roll 3 of those dice,
Okay,
because I don't like being on the back foot. So
that's
that's
four.
4 successes.
There are a number of known names and faces amongst the Arlington domain. Most of which, have not appeared in court since they have presented themselves to the prince. Basically, a lot of them keep under the radar, stay out of the way, go unnoticed, and while that might be true for a lot of the Arlington domain, not for Miss Terry Perkins. She has made it very clear from time to time she doesn't tolerate bullshit.
Harry Perkins. Okay.
Gangrel, one of only 2 in all of Dallas. Left, anyway.
I simply was having a wonderful night with a companion.
And who in the hell gave you permission to eat to have a wonderful evening at a church with a young lady that I saw you smacking on her neck? Don't play dumb with me.
So she's basically asking if I got permission to feed here. I'm
She's
recognizing that
she's basically assuming that you came to this church to have a one
just
night
get done.
stand.
Oh. Well, don't worry. I wouldn't do anything too inappropriate in the house of God. Me and
Sure
him
you
may not
wouldn't.
see eye to eye, but even I have my own morals and proprieties that I'd like to uphold.
What you still standing around here for? I told you to get.
I believe my companion needs a few moments, so when she is ready.
Who are you? I ain't never seen your face in here before.
Yes, I'm new. My name is Dorian Resner. Miss, what did you say your name was?
Terry Perkins.
Miss Perkins. And I'll extend a hand for a handshake.
How no? Look, I don't know who you are. I don't care that your name's Dorian Resner or whatever the fuck it is. This is mine and my partner's place.
Well, I got permission from the people who run it.
What
So,
people?
Well, if you don't know that, then it's a
Oh, I know
pity.
plenty who people that run a lot of different things. I'm asking you, who do you get permission from?
The proper people.
That doesn't answer my question, boy.
One does not. One does not simply discuss business outside of who it's done with.
She looks at your lapel. Right. Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasure to meet you, though, Miss Perkins.
No, it ain't. You're lying.
If you knew me, you would know that would not be the case. No, I don't enjoy lying. I'd much rather just stick to the truth. It's much more fun.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you ask him a question? Ain't nobody hearing us but us chickens.
Now, okay, would giving the dead man's hand, since they ran the area, or it is basically their area, would that be dragging them into this, or like what would be the proper etiquette for this to be?
Make an intelligence etiquette for me.
Sure. That's the whole thing of why he's playing coy and not saying shit, because he does not drag people in just to do it. All right, intelligence etiquette.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
3.
So there's 3. Okay. You know that getting permission from the person who runs the domain is key to proper proper adherence to the traditions. That includes, any primogen that might be over the place. And since you have talked to Dead Man's Hand and you have talked to Dr. Ian Keller about your moving into the domain, that mentioning either one of them would be okay. She might even have some respect for either of them.
Okay, so it would not be the equivalent of snitching.
No, you don't get that
Okay,
vibe at
just
all.
making sure.
No, that
Okay.
snitching is not
That's
necessary.
why, like, he did not want to drag them into a personal beef that if he didn't have to. So I'll just simply say, well, I have been discussed this with the primogen of the domain and the former primogens of the domain, and got permission from both.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Fancy Pants, because your pants all fancy.
Very much so.
Why come to here? Don't you got some kind of tall tower that you can just have people dropping on their feet for you?
That
What
tower
makes you?
is still being built.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. He's a baby. You hear that, Charity? And there's a nun who kind of comes out from behind one of the doors inside of the church. This here is a baby corpo. Isn't that cute?
And I assume I'd recognize the other person being Charity, the nun that Shriek has talked to. Out of character, I know
Out of
that.
character, yes, it's that same character.
But I know, in character, would I know that her name would be Charity and know anything of her? With the role that I made? Or I can make another one, it's up to you.
Yeah, another kindred that keeps their head sort of under the radar, as it were. Rumor has it she'd had a brush-in with the Scourge and lived.
It's nice to meet some of the players, especially one as famous as you.
Famous?
Yes, Miss Charity. Not everybody meets the Scourge and lives.
Oh, God.
Even I've heard stories of that.
Oh. Let's go outside. And
Thorin would go and hold the door open for both of them.
And they would walk out with you. Charity. I don't like the look of him. I get it, Terry. We're to be hospitable. Even if it means that he's snacking where he don't belong. Even then. So what? You couldn't get your friends at the Dead Man's Hand to walk you out and show you where you could possibly get your fix, Mr. Ventru.
I'm going to establish an area of that. Just hasn't come online yet.
It's slim pickings around here, you know that, right?
And what I'm planning to set up, I'm hoping will change that.
What, it's gonna be up and running, what, in 5 years? Think some of us got that long?
No. What realistically, if I were to dump my resources into it, how fast could I get this up and running, did you say?
Couple weeks. If you were willing to tie up all of your resources into it.
Aside from the resources that I set aside for like if I tied up the things that we talked about, I could get those 3 things done then.
Well, what 3 things? Remind me again.
Okay, there's the car.
Mm-hmm.
There's the housing project.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the bar.
The bar can be up. I mean, getting a car is like that's no big deal. That can happen fairly quickly, especially given the kind of money you can sling around. Within a week or so.
Incidental, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's pretty incidental. The housing project for housing other kindred, it's going to take a little more work, but another week or 2 after that. The big project is getting your bar going, because that's going to take a lot of logistics. There's all sorts of different things, like getting staff, like getting products, like getting the actual space, that sort of thing. That's going to take time. The other 2, maybe not so much. Take money, for sure, but time, you've got forever.
Yeah. I'll kind of do the math in my head and say, well, I'm hoping within the month.
Within a month.
Yes. I have one other thing that I have an obligation to before I can bring all my things to bear on this, but I'm hoping to see within a month a change.
And you don't think that's gonna cause some kind of problem? Shit. Look, I don't know what your plan is, and I don't care. This is our church. This is our home. So you can go find your little snack somewhere else.
Dorian will just get a smile on his face. Your concern has been noted.
I better not see you back here. Because if I do, you're going back to Dead Man's Hand or whoever in a couple of pieces because I got mad.
Now, why would you ruin a conversation like this with threats?
Because I don't like your kind. Your kind's a snitch.
My kind's of what?
A snitch.
Now that's the first thing that I found insulting that you said the whole night.
Well, that's what happened with the last one we met. So get out.
I'll get one thing very clear. I am no snitch. I never have been and I never will be.
Good. You have eternity to prove it.
So please do not disrespect me in that way again.
You're nothing to me.
That's just short-sightedness. We're going to be stuck in this place for a long time together. Making an enemy outright in the first meeting is not very smart.
I'm not making an enemy. I'm protecting what's mine.
The way you're speaking, you're trying to make enemies.
No, I'm just being straight with you. I ain't got time for bullshit.
So, since I got permission to feed in this area, is it truly their domain, or who? Like, how does that work in kindred politics?
You would know that, technically speaking, in the whole chain of hierarchy, ultimately this is Prince Warsy's domain. Then goes to the primogen of the domain, which would be Dr. Keller, which formerly would have been Dead Man's Hand, which you have permission to feed here from both. Now, after that, each individual does have the ability to stake claim on something of theirs, be it a haven, a neighborhood, things of that sort, that they can then kind of dish out and divvy up amongst themselves, especially in this domain, because it's not necessarily that each kindred is assigned where they are here. You had the privilege of being assigned with your sire prior to being released, and she had been assigned to a place that was beneficial to her and the rest of the city. It seems, based on the interaction that you're having with this particular individual and with Charity, especially since Charity seems to be a little bit more meek in that regard, that it's a little fend for yourself around here.
Yeah, okay. Seeing as you don't hold a higher position than the primogen who gave me permission, I will respectfully say that I am in no wrong here.
And neither am I. I really don't want things to get out of hand. Because we both know that if the Primogen were to get involved, likelihood is you're gonna get favor and I'm not. Fancy pants. So,
Then let me give you a word of advice. If you seem to find yourself in a disadvantage in that, find a way to turn it around. One way you can do that is being cordial and friendly with someone that you may seem as an adversary, especially if you see them as an adversary. Play the long game. Develop that.
I've been at this longer than you, sweet cheeks.
Then next time, please show me that. Because I'm trying to be very cordial and establish relationships here.
You are very cordial. You are very cordial. You're being very nice. You're being... Oh, what's the word?
Polite.
Polite. And I don't know if you noticed, Mr. High and Mighty, just how hard we have it here. So you better get used to people telling you, hey, what you doing?
Well, the reason that I'm here is I'm going to try to change some of that.
Then I suppose you better get to it. 'Cause we ain't got all night.
That's true.
I ain't got...
Actually, we have a long time.
You might. I don't.
Can I insight this person?
Sure, go ahead and insight checker.
So that's a wit.
Wits and insight, yep. Ooh,
That would be 6 successes.
that would be. When she says she hasn't got time, something about that just rings truer, maybe, than anything. You know what happened with the Purge. You know what happened with the Anarchs of the domain. And not that she's necessarily an Anarch per se, or that she's claimed anything as such. Something does ring out as far as her history that you would know. She's Gangrel, a known Anarch clan. Most would assume she's Anarch based on her clan. Most would suspect her. Most would not even respect her because of that. Just because there is a Gangrel that is the herald of the entire domain means that she has no standing in this court whatsoever.
I have an idea then. I'll just look. Then, how about this? As repayment for the perceived slight against you two, how can I give you more time?
You want to give me more time?
As I said, I'm trying to develop relationships here. I would much rather part amicably and with the possibility of a good future rather than have you angry.
You want to make sure we don't get interrupted in the much time we have? I'm gonna recommend that we keep the scourge out of this domain. Don't go snitching, and we won't have a problem.
As I said, I'm sure you don't want me to repeat myself.
Oh, I understand what you said.
The one thing that you will understand that about my clan is we hold ourselves to a high standard. And that when we have our morals and our principles, we don't bend and break for them.
Tell that to that Kaufman girl.
Well, I cannot speak for her, but there are poor examples of any clan wherever you go. One would just simply hope that you don't judge every book by their cover.
I judge him like I see him, honey.
Well, I'm interested to see what you see about me later.
Yeah, you
now,
don't.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Nope. Nope, we are just fine. I just asked you to kindly leave the premises.
I think that my friend has rested enough. I'll go collect her.
No.
And as
You don't need to do that.
Yes, I do. And as I go, I'm going to walk in. I'm going to go over to the alms box and tuck some money in to support the church and go and collect my date and return them safely.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Stick to the clubs, Mr. Fancy Pants. You might have better luck.
What is it you think I plan on building? And he'll get a very ear-to-ear wide grin through his beard.
I knew I pegged you from the start.
In some ways.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. Maybe next time you'll be coming, grabbing a bite to eat on my turf.
I doubt it. Bye.
Bye.
And
I'm gonna,
I'll
load her into the car, yeah.
Yeah, the two of them will go back into the church. All right. And where are you headed?
I would drop them off at home and then probably head over to the coterie house.
Okay.
With the only place I know it's not really the coterie house. Old habits die hard, Mox.
It's true. It's the
I'll go with the only
shop.
place I know. The only place I know where we meet up at.
Yep.
I'm just laughing at the fact
shop.
that it's become colloquially known as the coterie house, even though it's not.
No, it's not.
I love it.
Well, you have literally told anybody kindred related in this domain that they can come here. Like, yeah,
That's
so
exactly
coterie shop.
right. That's intentional.
Yeah, definitely coterie shop for me. That's where I know to go.
Yep, that's where you know to go. Speaking of which, Alex, I believe you right now would have a guest in Aaron at your shop shortly after the evening has come and gone and set. So, Aaron, what does your daily routine kind of look like before you arrive at the shop?
Hell of a lot more simple than Mr. Resner's, that's for damn sure. First things first. There's a certain piece of property that I happen to inherit since Pops kicked the bucket. It's old, Old historic building, red brick church, white walls on the inside, nice red carpet. A bit on the run-down side. You could smell the mothballs from a mile away. Go in and you'd find that there'd be no lights in the entire building. That's on purpose. It's a recent adjustment. As you see, it's kind of pointless for me to be having those kinds of things up. Conveniently, a historic building that doesn't get a lot of care and maintenance beyond one son of a bitch working on it here and there throughout the evening. Shouldn't have any sort of electricity running through it in the first place. All better. In between some of the walls and woodwork, behind a cabinet that would otherwise hold the communion wine, to find a little bit of a hatch. Pull it aside. In between the walls and boards, drywalls, cement, that kind of whole thing. Find a space. One of the little trick secret doors that are laced throughout the entirety of this building. You see, the church, it's a winter's inheritance. So of course it can't just be one damn thing. It's gotta be a whole assortment. Apparently this used to work as a base of operations for a couple generations down the line. That's why Pops handed it back down to me, along with a couple liquid assets and resources. So here I am, inside the drywall, like a bug. Wake up, pull myself together, move the board I got set up in order to kind of keep myself hidden. Step outside and pull my own coat right off the rack. It's a simple process, nothing fancy. I sleep standing up. Feeling like a little bit like a horse in that sense. Except a horse don't die every day. Go around and pick up my equipment. Nothing's necessarily kept out in the open, but instead, if I move the altar piece centered in the middle of the building, there's a trick door underneath that. Another one I found. Inside there, I imagine, would have held communion wine. Or something else. As of right now, it's holding weapons. A lot of them. Pull out a shotgun, get some oil. The end of it is soldered off. Now clean it, make sure everything is looking nice and pretty. Double check my bullets, load them up. Make sure everything is looking right and tidy. Once I feel comfortable with the setup, I unload the bullets. Clear the chambers. Put the shotgun at the side. Take out the revolver. Do the same thing. It doesn't take me a lot of time, probably about the first 30 minutes of my night, just making sure all my equipment is up to speed. Once everything is maintained and well cared for, put it back all away. Make sure to keep the revolver. That's going to have a need. I don't know when, I don't know where. I always do need it. Happen to have a need. Inside as well, a couple stakes. Pull two, put them away. Hidden just inside the coat pocket. Comfy as can be. Not something most folks happen to notice, unless they're looking inside my head. That apparently happens too. Undead tricks and all that. Needless to say, once maintenance is done, comes the second round of maintenance. The truck. Every night, same thing. There's a box in the corner of the church. It has a whole bunch of headlights. I keep having to go out buy them in bulk. Make sure to take a new one, pair of new ones, whatever I need. Go back out. I spend about an hour just trying to get that all set back up in there. Change out the bulbs. Because inevitably, they go out. One goes out. At least every single night. It's a trick with this whole Bane bit. It's interesting because Vince didn't have this curse, but my particular flavor got a little... requires extra work, I guess. Make sure the old clunker is working nice and fine. She ain't need no water, no food, nothing. She's all filled up in the gas tank and we're rearing to go. I don't personally like to go around making any sort of social deals or contracts outside of what I necessarily need to. As I said, I tend to like it quiet, I tend to like it simple, and utilitarian is, quite frankly, a necessity. And, utilitarian needs, I do happen to have tonight. Maybe I can convince that, was it Miss Alexandra? Maybe I can convince her to come along with me for a little bit of a snack. Though I might have rights to do as I will around the parts, I don't exactly see any means to be doing it on my own. After all, I'm a little new out here. Check the back seat of the truck, make sure I have all the equipment in there. Shovel, check. Spade, check. Extra long poker stick, check. Duffel bag full of these things, triple check. Oh shit, the bullets. Once it's all done, at that point is when I make my way to the shop.
To the shop you go. And you arrive, and you find that Alex is indeed there. With the intent, it looks like that she's going out. What are you up to tonight, Alex?
Alex has spent first portion of her evening debugging the place and replacing light bulbs.
Getting out the pesticide and the spare light bulbs.
Pesticides and the spare light bulbs, and she's had to go and figure out how to order them online in bulk, which is a very frustrating endeavor. Most websites do not want to work with her very out-of-date laptop. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not like you have a retail distributor who might be able to help you out with that. As they don't sell the light bulbs that you need at the quantities that you're wanting.
No. Fine.
Given that
Fine.
you are now keenly aware of Aaron's issue with remaining indoors.
I have explained it away to the staff as there is an electrical problem that I am looking into getting solved. But she has gathered everything that she needs. All of her reagents that she needs for blood war. Chalice, the athame, the little bits and bobs that she needs for that ritual. she has put away into a bag. She needs to eat, and then she needs to go and talk to Ra. That's assuming nobody else has anything that they wanted to do. She's giving it a little bit of time, maybe an hour or two, in case anybody shows up.
You maybe have a stray thought during all of your cleaning with the pesticide and replacing bulbs that perhaps something outdoors, as far as a meeting place now, might be suitable given how Shriek and Aaron both have trouble remaining indoors for long periods of times without causing issues.
I'm beginning to think that we should meet at the local tip. That might be the best possible place. Things can't be destroyed by pests, and light bulbs won't be exploding everywhere. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Making a mental note.
Definitely.
Just as you're having those thoughts, Aaron does walk into the door of the shop tonight.
Oh, no, I don't walk in. I have learned my lesson. I don't want to cause any more trouble than I already have. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive the truck up to the street corner, make sure that for just a brief moment, as I'm driving up towards the shop, headlights, brights directed into the shop, flash them, 1, 2, 3. And
I
park the
guess
car
that's
in the
my
parking lot as needed. So,
I guess that's my ride. She, slings the bag over her shoulder. Are you alright with the shop this evening?
Your staffer kind of just looks around. Yeah?
Alright.
Unless
We'll
there's
see you
any
later.
stock to put away. But we haven't sold
There's a few
anything in
things.
weeks. Nothing substantial
Few
anyway.
things. There's a few things out the back that will go up on display. I'll be back later.
Okay. I'll be here. Scrolling Instagram.
I really need to get that event sorted out. And Alex would step outside and go to the vehicle that flashed its lights at her.
it's parked on the street corner, turned off already, and Aaron's up. Has made his way already, just kind of leaning against the truck. Passively, waves. Good evening, Miss Alexandra.
You're not very good at being conspicuous.
That's about as conspicuous as it gets.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah, it's better than honking, ain't it?
Guess. How are you doing this evening, Mr. Winters?
Well, full disclosure, I am a bit famished. So I thought rather than just going off on my own, maybe you and I could make it a dinner date.
That might not be such a bad idea. This domain is tenuous at best. Can't have you running around munching on people you're not supposed to.
I figured as much. I'm not exactly familiar with the neighborhood. Don't know whose is whose and what is what's.
Thought. All right. Where do you normally look? What kind of areas?
For a while, I used to meander around Vince's parts. His domain. It's not so much an area that I tend to look for, though.
So it's a type.
Yes, ma'am.
Can't say I'm surprised. All right. Well, lead the way. When you see something that catches your fancy, I can give you the yay or the nay.
All right. Might be better on foot. And I guess, initial question for you is, where does trouble like to hang?
Trouble. Oh. Are you one of those?
I prefer to cause problems for people already causing problems.
See. Interesting. Do I know where the most likely place to find that kind of person would be, Coffee?
Troublemakers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're fairly familiar with the domain. It's a pretty low difficulty. I'm going to say that's an intelligence and streetwise.
Can I help because I have 2 dots in streetwise?
Yes, you can.
Yay!
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a black market specialty. Would that come into play?
What is Aaron's feeding type? Alley cat?
Extortionist, but he very exclusively only targets people who are criminals, who have assault charges, who are known faces of problem, have like a prison record essentially, and he uses their own records as leverage
against them.
Okay. Yep.
Then yeah, I think black market's absolutely going to work in this regard.
Beautiful.
Especially for working for criminals, because you lure them out with the potential to buy something, and Aaron feeds on the person who may be selling to you. You might be able to catch 2 with 1 stone.
Cool.
With this being the suburbs, some things are easier to get away with than others, such as those who might be selling illicit substances or illegitimate prescriptions or things of that sort. That seems to be the most common of the illicit sort of sales that seem to be going on in this area. Now, there are a variety of other things that do also take place, but that's primarily the kinds of contacts that you have, Alex. The kinds that'll get you the things that should not be on the market, or probably were not bought for the intent purpose of the label on the bottle. So, you know the neighborhood where these sort of salespeople tend to gather when it comes to looking for someone that they might potentially want to sell to. You have a few phone numbers. You might even have a contact or 2 that usually lead you in the right direction. So, Alex, I'm going to ask you to make a feeding roll as well, because you're aiming for the intention of getting your usual substance.
So, my feeding roll, you're going to laugh at this, is actually intelligence streetwise.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess with a 4, you actually aim to get it.
Yeah.
So, since you've already rolled that, yeah, absolutely. You call up one of your contacts, one of the several. You always talk to the same person all the time, but one of the several people that you're in contact with that that will give you blood bags to work with. You call them up with the intention of purchasing, and you do intend to purchase one, which will provide you with a bag that you throw in.
If I can get more than one, I will, because I'm at 4 at the moment. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that they'll have 2 dots worth to be able to satisfy your hunger.
yeah. Oh no, I'm at 3, but I'm close enough.
But, Aaron, that does give you the opportunity that if you wanted to, you could also make a feeding roll against this person. So go ahead and make your feeding roll.
Oh,
Let's see how successful
right.
you are at extorting this person.
Bag and tag.
Bag and tag.
tag. Let me figure out what method I want to do this, because there's 2 ways I can do this, and that's either threatening them through sheer brutishness, or threatening them with a little bit of cleverness.
Okay.
So it's either strength or manipulation plus intimidation.
Which would
one is clear.
Do you think you can get away with strong arming this person and kind of just?
Oh, I know I can. The problem is, do I want to cause that much trouble? I think what Aaron's gonna do is he's kind of like analyzing the situation. He's trying to determine like whether or not this is like an active relationship that Alex has.
Mm-hmm.
So if like she's like got like a working network with this individual, or if this is just some random dude.
Okay, then go ahead and make the manipulation intimidation.
All right, manipulation intimidation. Okay.
Yep.
Huh. Can I roll a willpower?
Can indeed, or you can succeed at a cost.
I'm not taking any cost. Fuck you. That is the best outcome I could have hoped for.
Hell yeah. 4 is good. 4 is good.
All right. So here's how it's gonna roll. Aaron, if there is no working relationship, he's gonna enforce one.
Okay.
He wants to make that leverage so that Alex has a black market contact.
Oh yes.
Okay. Okay. In that case, if Alex, you don't have the experience to be able to spend on a black market contact, I will allow Aaron to put experience towards that for you at the end of the session.
I do have the experience for it.
Okay. At maximum, this person will be a 1-dot contact black market.
Nice.
You will be able to purchase your blood from him, but that's really about it.
Cool. And I imagine it goes like this. Alex is in the middle of the thing. And she gets the blood bag and starts walking away. And it's at that point that Aaron comes out of the shadows. He's got this dark aura around him. He's like, all right, meatbag. Is that what's gonna go? I see what you did there with your little fucking games. And this deal is simple. You are working on my turf. You made a deal on my turf, and you know what happens when you're fucking around in the wrong turf. And he grabs him by the collar and fucking lifts him off his feet.
And he's flailing kind of he's not exactly small. He's kind of a portly fellow. But he's definitely frightened by you. And so yeah, I will allow him to be a 1-dot contact black market for either blood bags or other illicit substances up to 2 resources.
You want to be working here, you're going to be working here under my name. That is non-negotiable. Oh, computer just went. Just listen for things. Don't mind me.
He's willing to do that because you are more or less essentially threatening his life.
Wonderful. And thus we have a successful hunt. And
how much
he's
are you
going to let
from him?
Yes, this guy directly has not been fed on, has he?
No, he does not. Nope. He has just delivered a blood bag to Alex.
All right.
Yeah.
Under the guise of taking his weaponry, Aaron is gonna put him on the ground, push him against the wall of a building, and basically just start taking his weapons from him. If he's carrying any sort of weaponry, knives, guns, that kind of thing, empties the bullets and shells just down on the ground, throws the empty gun onto the ground if there is one.
Nope. He has a knife, and that's about it, because he's a suburban drug dealer.
Yeah, okay, and while he's just holding this guy by the head against the brick building, it's at this point that he just grabs his shoulder and just and he's gonna take 2 dots.
Take 2. All right, this guy's gonna be woozy, but
hey, he's gonna remember. Yep. He's going to remember my turf.
He's going to remember being very intimidated, and then very euphoric, and then very intimidated again.
That adrenaline, baby.
That adrenaline there, baby.
And he, once he's done, he's going to send the guy on his way. He's just going to spit on the ground. Get the fuck out of here. When I call, you answer.
And he runs.
He turns back. Returns to Alex, who I imagine is just watching from around a building or something.
Alex is just like, the fuck did I just witness?
So,
But also, Aaron is daddy. Yeah, Alex is there like, I'm not sure what I just saw.
Aaron pulls out a fucking driver's license and just hands it. Hands the guy's driver's license over to Alex.
Thank you.
You need him for anything. That's how you get him. Send it through the post. Yes, send it through the postal mail, then it'll automatically reroute. Easy to track.
You're a very scary man, Mr. Pinton. Remind me not to piss you off.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing about you back when we met in Elysium.
Oh, yes, but I'm politically dangerous. But that is quite scary.
Kind of reminds you of somebody, doesn't it, Alex?
Definitely. Definitely reminds me of somebody.
And I think that is where we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will find out what more these 3 are going to get up to with more Blood and Iron in just a few minutes. Be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. Where we left off, Alex and Aaron were just sort of taking a stroll out onto the streets to maybe catch a bite. Alex making a call to a contact that she had recently procured in order to secure a blood bag for herself, or two, in order to grab herself a snack. And with Aaron in tow, Aaron was able to take advantage of the situation as well by feeding on the individual who was making the sale. So in a way, the two coordinated like a pack of wolves. And together, they walked away satisfied, with their bellies fuller than they were before, and their sights now set on the goings-on of the domain and can actually think a little more clearly tonight. They make their way towards a well-known bar in the domain. A bit of a dive. Has really just the countertops, stools, maybe a couple of booths, a pool table, a couple of TVs with the local sports, and a bartender behind to serve really just beer. It's really not much in the way of liquor per se. It's more of a beer and snacks sort of a place. A little hole in the middle of Arlington, where the locals go to drink and be merry, and maybe shout at a Dallas team game. Finding themselves at this bar, they expect to run into a friend that Alexandra knows, that Aaron hasn't quite met yet. Alex, how do you present this little hole in the wall to your new friend?
Before we step inside, Alex stops, says, "Now, please do not make Gerard angry.
You quick on the
That is-
temper.
Yes. He's also quite good at putting things through walls. And then some.
Note taken.
He's normally
So-
pretty chill, though.
When you say don't piss him off, is there a specific thing that tends to piss him off?
Well, how do I? You know, maybe just don't mention your prior profession.
Lips are sealed, keys away.
We were kind of the ones at the warehouse after everything went down. Our missing kindred friend. And, well, Gerard had a lot of fun. So, maybe that might not be a good topic to venture.
Maybe it might be in everyone's best interest to just not mention the topic at all.
Maybe. We'll see.
Simple enough. I'll just let you do the talking then.
Well, the point is to get you introduced. because Gerard is, even though he keeps his head down, he's the one to talk to about damn near everything that goes on in this domain. He's got everybody's trust. And that certainly deserves some respect.
I'll keep that in mind.
It would be
All
about
right,
that
then.
moment that you you see behind you an SUV that does pull up into the same parking lot.
Is it a black SUV by chance?
Well, a notable figure starts to come out of the SUV in a purple suit.
There's this instance of, you see Alex tense on seeing this SUV, and then as soon as she sees their Venture friend, she visibly relaxes.
Well. Might have fun seeing you here tonight, Mr. Resner.
Yes, I did not expect to run into you two this early. I stopped by the shop earlier, but no one was there. I had some business to take care of. But I was out sampling the nightlife, clocking the competition, as it were.
See? Anything of note?
Some of the bars around here are very unimaginative. But I guess if you get too creative, it might drive people away. I gotta walk the fine line. Something that I wouldn't mind putting my name on. And balance it with what would draw in the tastes of the locals in those surrounding areas.
See. Well, this is the suburbs, so
Yes.
Set up a wine bar, I'm sure all the middle-aged women will be coming drumming for miles.
But I'll figure this out. It's not that hard of a code to crack. Just takes a little balancing.
fair enough. Well, how would you like to meet one of the locals while you're...
I'm always for meeting a new person. I have met some interesting people tonight.
Oh,
An interesting run-in with... What did, what was it, Tina? What did she dress like?
Terry, and she
Terry, I'm
dressed
sorry.
very casual, very sort of t-shirt and jeans, dark complexion, dreaded hair, kind of like your every mom sort of a look.
Well, let's just say a woman of the cloth and her friend.
a woman of the cloth. Are there a lot? There are not a lot of nuns in this area.
In Arlington, not so much. There's a couple of churches, but primarily are run by if they're Protestant, a pastor, or if they're Catholic, by a priest. Very few are actually run by a nun.
This nun. She wouldn't have happened to have given you her name, would she?
You would remember her name is Charity.
Yeah. Yeah, she would have.
Care to share?
I believe she was Charity. A bit tongue-in-cheek, but amusing.
Yes, Sister Charity is It's actually quite wonderful.
I'm hoping to get to know them better.
Well, I hope that is in a positive manner.
Oh, of course. I'm not out here to make enemies.
I will put it that she is certainly a good pair of eyes to have in the area. Not much gets past her.
That's good to know. All the more reason to have a beneficial relationship.
Indeed. I can certainly agree with you on that. Same thing
So,
goes for the gentleman in here.
and Dorian will kind of like put his hands together. So, who are we meeting tonight?
Gentleman that frequents this place, it goes by the name of Gerard.
Would Gerard ring a bell for me?
Making intelligence politics.
Copy that.
I just want to make a note. I love playing the smooth brain character.
4 successes.
Yes. I've heard strange stories about the man. A Gerard Norris, if you recall correctly. He appeared in the Dallas-Fort Worth area out of nowhere a couple of years ago. And has kind of just been laying low since.
Okay. Would I have heard that people like to go to him, that he's kind of like one of the de facto, like...
Well, you would have heard that just now, yes, but it's not like he has a huge reputation outside of Arlington in particular.
Okay.
He's more of a... He just has some weird stories revolving around him. He has... You're aware that he's Canadian, that he dresses in flannel, which is really odd for the area, and that stories revolving around him usually make no sense. How he got here, where he comes from, anything else as far as details, you're foggy on at best.
Okay.
But just as you're about to open the door to walk into the establishment, there is a woman who also exits the building. Very pretty, very sort of has a sort of business suit on, long hair and glasses. She just kind of seems to walk past you as the door opens. Not really minding.
Do I recognize this at all?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Blah, blah, blah. By look alone, no. I don't think you've met this person. Or if you have, it was briefly and you may not recall.
Aaron's gonna speak up. How's the game going tonight, ma'am?
I'm sorry, what game?
Cowboys. They winning?
Oh. No. No, not at all.
Pastime of those shows is always better than the games.
Well, I wasn't really here to watch the game anyway.
You have yourself a good night then. Get home safe.
Thank you, you too. And she goes off to a car, to which... It looks like it was once a nice car, but it's had some years on it. Same can be said
Aaron's
for
gonna
clothes
note
if you're looking closely enough.
Aaron's gonna note the license plate.
Okay.
Alex is gonna pay attention to the make, model, that sort of stuff. And if she can get the license plate,
Yep. That's plenty of time to do so. And it's not like luxury per se. It's nice. It's maybe got some slightly worn leather seats on the inside when you look in. Um, but otherwise the exterior looks like it's an older nice car. It's not.
it looks like it's probably higher end secondhand.
Second hand possibly. Definitely has some years. Definitely not a current model.
She looks like she just got off work.
She may well have. Anyways, shall we head on in?
Sure thing.
And when you do,
And
oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna blush of life.
Okay, blush of life it is.
I'm fed. I can take it. It's worth it. And I remain fed.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do indeed.
He is still here. I was just like, have we lost a fat guy?
No, fat guy had to take care of something real quick. Sorry.
It's all good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, y'all are walking into the bar to
I will
to-
blush of life as well, just to make sure to keep appearances up.
okay. The pallor to your skin that is otherwise slightly pale does flush with a bit more color, and you look about as lively as any other patron of this bar.
And
Alex sticks with the pale look. It goes well with her whole goth aesthetic.
The whole shtick.
it does.
Yeah.
Aaron's gonna politely just kind of whisper to Alex as well. Reminder, I got about 30 minutes before I got a dip.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I can't.
Dorian will
Well-
walk up to the bar and see what they have for fare.
You got some beers. You've got a couple that are craft beers. A couple are that are some of your some of your standard fare. But primarily it's beers and snacks. There's not really much in the way of liquor behind the bar.
He would look for the interesting craft beers and probably order a round of them
Okay.
and take them and follow Alex.
And Alex.
Alex
Go ahead.
casts a quick glance around the bar, trying to locate her lovely friend.
He's in the usual spot. Already got a beer kind of half full in front of him. That that you see he's kind of nursing on just as you're looking at him. That is kind of sitting in the corner, kind of leaning back in his seat. Kind of looks like he's paying attention to the game, but kind of half not.
She's gonna make her way up and slide into the seat beside him.
Oh,
Hi,
well, hello.
how are you doing this evening?
Well, better, I guess. Cowboys aren't exactly doing that great. I've never been a
Never
one for.
really understood. Never really understood football or any kind of sports, really.
Not more of a hockey fan.
Actually, hockey games are quite interesting.
Brutal.
Something about big men swinging big sticks around.
Hey, you're getting it. You're getting it. Who are your friends?
Two
Looks
new
over at
faces.
Dorian and Aaron.
And Dorian would walk up and put a beer down for Aaron and slide one in front of Alex and probably take up a seat at the table next to him, not wanting to intrude.
Over here, Dorian.
Okay, I did not want to intrude until I didn't know if he wanted company or not.
Gerard, this is Mr. Dorian Rest.
Dorian would extend the hand.
Dorian Resner. He gives it. He reaches out his hand and shakes your hand, and there is a strength to this old man that even just by gently shaking his hand, you know that he could crush you in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
And this other gentleman is Mr. Aaron Winters. Both new faces in the area.
Winters.
Sure
Yes.
am.
Winters. You wouldn't happen to be related to an Artemis Winters, would you?
Oh, you know my cousin.
I'm sorry, what?
God damn. What are the coincidences? You been up to Edmonton?
It's
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Edmonton. And no. Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes. Hang on. Wait. Winters.
Hey boy.
Aaron's just been like holding out his hand this entire time and like just kind of like gauging Gerard's reactions.
He's not taking your hand to shake it.
Alright.
Okay.
Thanks for the
He is
IPA,
one
by
of
the way,
us.
Mr. Resner.
It's what they seemed interesting, and it's nice to enjoy one every once in a while. And Dorian will sit there and sip on his beer.
I assure you, Gerard, that he is one of us.
Alright.
Are you all right?
Well, it's just I
Shoot.
know a few Winters in Edmonton. Because I'm from there.
Small world, ain't it?
Yeah. Very small.
Hopefully that ain't gonna come between us and our new little conversation here.
What is this conversation about?
An introduction. Hope it didn't sour it.
I don't know yet.
Like I said, these two are new in the area, and you are one of the better people to know.
Right. These are the two that got announced at Elysium from what I was seeing, what I was hearing. It's two new fledglings got announced that were assigned to Arlington in specific. They didn't give any names when they told me about this. So,
Yeah.
more mouths to feed. Great.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
And I hear we have two other ones. Well,
Let me guess. Raphael told you.
I offered my assistance.
As did I.
Christ alive, what is that? 20 individuals in this goddamn city now?
Something like that.
Aaron takes a drink. Foam is stuck in his beard.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He just kind of stares at you, Aaron. And you're here because... Same reason? Just kind of got dumped? Or are you here to make the problem go away?
Well, to my understanding, they didn't think I was cute enough to be out living with Vince's property, so...
Vince. As in Vincent Roderick.
One and only.
One who's... Right. Fantastic. Another of that fucking... Fuck! Fuck.
Right, Gerard.
Another Lasombra, as if Cain wasn't bad enough.
Yes.
Cain had that aura of, don't mess with me. People tend to steer clear of him because he exuded that. And now I don't know what to think. Because, Mr. Winters, you have that same sort of exuberantness. But you have it, then... Let me guess. You learned all of your skills from a lovely individual who goes by the name of Todd Reagan.
Aaron just sips on his beer, more foam stuck in his mustache. Who? I'm sorry. Who? No, I never met anyone like that in my entire life.
Well,
Can I insight that? Because
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
know what
inciting
he's bullshitting.
Go ahead.
Mike,
Oh
the shit
god,
detector
do I
is
have to
going
roll
off.
to say I'm not lying? Me as a player don't know that name.
maybe as a
So,
distant relative, very distant relative. You probably have not heard of him.
Insight in intelligence or charisma or what am I doing?
Wit and insight for those who want to insight check. Aaron,
Oh, wait.
it would be a charisma persuasion.
Charisma persuasion. Okay. I imagine he met Artemis because they were like cousins, and so when he was visiting up in Edmonton with his pa, they stayed around and hung out, and they were probably kids together, essentially teenagers or some shit together. And but he has no idea who that other person is because that was his dad's thing.
I got it.
Oh god. Why are you making me roll charisma persuasion when those are literally my worst stats?
I just want to try to pick up information from you, that's all.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
He's
I had
so,
one dice to roll,
so easy
and I
to
got
read.
it.
So easy to read.
Open book.
Aaron
Open book.
obviously does not know that name at all. If there's anything that Aaron knows at all, it's that a name like the name Todd Reagan means nothing to him. I mean, if you spent any time in Edmonton, you might be aware of him. He was great-granddad to Artemis.
Oh, jeez. God damn. Yeah, no, I know nothing about that. Man would have been dead when I stopped by.
Yeah, he was. And he's kindred.
Ah,
Scourge
with
of
that-
Edmonton at this point.
That kind of granddad, okay. That-
Seems his monster hunting days didn't end up dying with him. He took that with him into his embrace. Made a habit of making an example out of kindred like me.
And takes another drink of his IPA.
So, you understand why I have a mixed feelings about the name Winters.
Completely understandable. I don't blame you one bit. Again, I'm just hoping I don't sour any sort of talks or conversation we could have. Right now, I don't know about you, but I'm right as rain, just sitting on a table drinking some beer. And, bitching about how the Cowboys suck. You know they ain't won a single game in 20 years. The best thing about them is the cheerleaders.
Alex just picks up her drink and just starts to sip it, like just using it to hide behind.
You in on sports?
Me? You could say I'm a little bit of a hockey fan.
Oh, hockey. Yeah, excuse me while I look up a hockey game because I imagine Aaron actually liked sports.
Yes, I can remember hockey. I enjoyed when the Penguins had the dream team of Lemieux and was it Yager and what the hell was the last guy's name? I always forget it. And he'll just be deep in thought and just bullshitting hockey trivia.
Alex just starts talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and how they got messed over because they kept getting into fights.
Dallas Stars have been having a pretty good season. Been enjoying any of their stuff?
Nah, I've been watching the Maple Leafs ever since I was a boy.
Ah. Oh, you can't necessarily blame me for being a hometown kind of guy.
Yeah, I get it. Well, this is all fun and games, but what is the exact purpose of this visit here, Miss Jenkins? Because I got a busy schedule.
Aaron takes another sip of his IPA.
Besides introducing these two, I was hoping you could put me in the right direction for these two new friends of ours.
Well, if I knew exactly where to look, I probably would point you in that direction. And even if I did, why? They're just gonna get steamrolled by the time everything's all said and done.
Because I want to find out who made.
What purpose is that going to serve?
Well, if they were made here, means somebody's breaking the traditions, and we certainly don't need more mouths.
No, of course not. But you do realize that means that they're also going to lose their heads because they were illegally made. Right?
Someone could also just be dumping them here to cause problems, furthering an agenda.
Well, that could be that too.
Be good to know.
Either way, we need to know what's going on.
They're asking for my help.
Before that, I would like to offer mine, Mr. Norris.
Please, it's just Gerard.
Gerard, then. And please call me Dorian. I
Mr.
am
Norris
working
is my father's name.
Does he happen to have a fist behind his beard, or... Sorry. I shouldn't say that joke. But I'm working on trying to alleviate some of the stressors of this domain. And I'm looking for allies to do that. And your reputation precedes you.
Oh. What reputation would that be?
I would go into the basics of what I've heard. Very frankly.
That I'm the weirdo that popped out of the sky out of nowhere, but everybody seems to trust.
Yes. And I'm hoping you're a weirdo that I can get on my side of the, get to... How am I going to say this? I'm basically trying to say, I'd like to work with this weirdo if I can.
Well, Mr. Reznor, can't help but think that that's a pun somehow.
There is a story.
I'm sure. Alright. You're trying to get some projects off the ground to help alleviate some of this, this here feeding problem. Yeah, everybody
Well,
needs
it's
meal
housing.
and housing. Alright. And Alex wants to know who these thin bloods are and where to find them. Can't help feeling like somehow that makes me some kind of rat. I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought. I have to speak with them. Maybe, if I can find them.
Would never ask you to compromise your morals.
Seems like that's all anybody asked me to do. Compromise my morals.
Gerard,
The sentiment that I can understand.
you know that I will do everything I possibly can to make sure you're safe.
See, I don't know that, though. We've known each other for a couple of months. And while you say quite a lot of things, you know, I've had issues with trusting certain Tremere and La Sombra.
See,
Is there a way that we can help
Especially when the two
alleviate?
of them mix. You know, join forces and all of that. So I don't know. Gotta give it some thought. Because I
Fair
can't
enough.
help but think that this is Edmonton all over again.
What do you mean?
Well, a Tremere joined forces with a very, very, very old La Sombra and nearly killed everyone in Edmonton. So no, I don't trust the pair of you together.
Well, I'm not exactly old.
That doesn't matter anymore.
First
Gerard.
time I walked in here was with
Yeah, but this one's in Winters.
and I've already had to deal with one. You've seen the lengths that myself and Shriek are willing to go to over these last few months. Now, just because our titles have been stripped doesn't mean that our willingness to work with you, Raphael, or any other kindred, any other person in
To
this
be quite fair, Miss Jenkins, I never put much stock into your title anyway. I don't give a shit about titles.
exact.
What I give a shit
And that
about.
hasn't changed.
What I give a shit about. What I told Luca I was here to do is to make sure that these kids have a fighting chance. And I'm not letting you, he looks to Aaron, I'm not letting you, he looks to Dorian, or even fucking Prince Warsi get in the way of that.
Then let me help you. Because there are far too many mouths in this. You know it as well as I do.
Yeah. I know it better than you.
Exactly.
Aaron takes a final sip of his IPA, finishes the bottle. Well, it's been peachy, but I think that's a good point for me to be heading on my way. I don't mean to necessarily cause any sort of trouble or cut it short. Y'all are welcome to continue your conversation and chats here, but I gotta get going. And he gets up out of the table. He takes some money out of his wallet, it's cash, puts it on the counter for the bar, and just saunters on out. For a note, Coffee, he does wait outside for the rest of the coterie.
Okay.
He's just around the corner, essentially, but he can't be in the building much longer.
Now, Gerard, I can understand the hesitation. I certainly wouldn't trust me at first glance, but I'm looking to build a relationship. What can I do to help? To show you that I'm serious.
Said you got projects in the works?
Yes.
Break ground.
And I'll go ahead and I'll open up my little notebook. Yes, the housing project should be breaking ground this day, and is estimated to be finished 2 weeks later.
Oh. So you're talking about round-the-clock construction and shit.
When I said I wanted to solve problems, I meant it.
By throwing as much money at it as you can. Typical.
Money's is a means. We need a result.
I know another person who's just like you. Goes by Luca von Brunhild. You know him? He's another one of your kind.
Do I know this name?
I don't know. Probably not.
The moment that Luca's name is mentioned, Alex just starts laughing.
That is a hell of a name. It would be interesting to meet them
Hell
one
of a
day.
Person.
But his word, I can trust. I don't trust yours yet. You have to prove it to me. So, your plans for breaking ground are all well and good, but until that actually does happen, I'm going to say no for now.
Is there anything that anyone needs in the interim?
Just stay out of the way. And
he'll reach into the inside of his jacket and pull out a little, very nice filigree case and open it up, and it's just a simple card holder, and pull out one of his business cards and slide it across. If that changes, this is how to contact me.
I don't want any trouble. So, that's the deal. I won't cause trouble if you don't cause trouble. And I think that's going to make us peachy keen, doesn't it?
It's definitely a start, and he'll take a long draft on his beer, finished most of it off, and well, Gerard, it was a pleasure meeting you. You seem like a interesting individual at the least. I look forward to getting to know you better. And he'll nod. I'll leave you to it and go. I think it's a nice night for a walk.
Have fun on
And
your
he'll go.
walk.
Yeah, and he'll just leave Alexandra to finish her talk.
She finishes off her drink.
And Gerard kind of relaxes a little bit and kind of settles into the booth again.
I will give you the time. Side. I am truly only trying to help.
By cornering me.
Do you mean?
I don't think I have a choice in this now, do I?
You have all the choice in the world.
No, I don't. This ain't Anarch country, honey.
Gerard, what am I going to do to you?
I don't know. What are you gonna do to me? If I don't
Absolutely
comply with
nothing.
what you want.
I gain nothing from trying to force your hand.
Except one less mouth to feed. That's what you have to gain. Or 2. Or 4, maybe. Depending who made these individuals, huh?
My head's just as much on the chocolate block.
Not if you ain't the one who made them.
One that made them. If they're a local, and these aren't just 2 more people that have fled for safety.
Or appeared out of nowhere.
Nobody appears out of nowhere.
You sure
Even-
about that?
Even if they want to make themselves seem as if they have.
If they want to come forward, I'll talk to them. But I can't promise anything.
And that's fine. Just
Then why make it seem like I have? I don't get what you're doing here.
I'm leaving you with an option. That's all. I've always left you with an option, Gerard. If they're willing to talk, tell them to pop into the shop. I'm more than happy. Just ask. Don't intend on dropping them in the ship. That's not how I work. And in the meantime, we'll try to make the situation a bit better.
Yeah, well.
Believe it or not, I actually care about people in this area. Even just a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that I have noticed about you versus any other Tremere. Well, since being here, is you're the only one who comes out of their hidey hole.
Well, it's not exactly as if I'm... Even with my own clan in this area, I'm still an outsider.
You may be a foreigner, but you're still Tremere, right?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Means you always have a safe place at whatever that thing is called, the charcuterie? No, wait, that's a cheese board.
Yes. Chantry.
Right. Right. Didn't have one in Edmonton. Or at least not that I knew about.
Hmm. Yes, well,
Then again, I didn't really care.
given our clan's history, me, in particular, there is only... How do I even put it? While we might still be of the same clan, we are from different cities, and my upbringing leaves a little bit to be desired.
I don't think I could fully understand what it is that you mean by that. But I suppose that's for you to know.
I'll just say that even my clan has exceptions.
Don't we all?
Exactly. But to the original topic. When you make up your mind, if they're willing to talk, send them my direction. I would love to get this sorted out. The less strain, the better.
Right. Well, can't really say it was a pleasure meeting either of them. But,
Well, rest assured I'm trying to keep an eye on them. I had a similar reaction to you when I realized Mr. Winters is association.
so... What do you mean?
Winters is not a popular name.
Well, ish. I jumped the gun. I jumped toward a conclusion. I probably lost my cool just a little bit.
I noticed that. I thought we were going to have another server issue.
I had forgotten about that.
I didn't.
No. Nope. If there's anything that I know about Tremere is that they have an eidetic memory. All of them.
Well, I'll never forget the sound of...
Without fail.
Look, that was unforgettable. And impressive.
Oh. It's kind of a thing. You know, old man strength and all that.
Oh, I'm sure that's what it is. Old man strength.
Right.
Regardless, I'll let you get back to your evening and your game. And hopefully I'll see you around soon.
The game is bullshit, and Thanks.
You know, if you need help with anything, all you have to do is ask.
I don't need help with anything.
Even if it's only an extra pair of eyes. And she slides out of the seat, offers him her hand for a handshake.
He shakes her hand.
And then she will head out.
He stays there, kind of haphazardly stirring around the beer that's left in his cup. Looking up at the screen, looking around the bar as you leave. Noticing that Dorian and Aaron are still there.
Specifically, Aaron is around the corner in the back alley, over kind of hanging himself over the dumpster and just.
Dorian would just walk out and lean against his SUV.
By the way, did I need to roll a rouse to keep that drink down?
That's what I'm playing off.
You did not
Yes.
actually rouse the blood, did you? And you don't have the eat food merit, do you?
Oh.
That's what Aaron's doing. He's puking it out.
He's definitely doing
on
that
his
right now.
terms. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, so she's probably gonna join Aaron in the back alley to bring it up.
Jeez. Oh, hold on there, girl. Let me hold your dreads. He actually holds her hair for her.
Like quite a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
we gotta get rid of it, don't we?
Awkwardly pats her on the back.
And Alexandra yarks up all of the beer that she drank.
Just that really weird, fluidy, reddish, brownish, yellowish.
We don't have to describe that on air.
Gross out coffee.
Gross. I already have issues with yarking. Let's not. In game.
There are many ways to break the DM. This is one.
That's just one.
Nope. Nope. I will end the stream right now.
Rainbows.
Yes, rainbows.
Rainbows and teddy bears. But yes, you all have the opportunity. You all have or have had the opportunity to rid the contents of your stomachs if you so need to.
Dorian would do so by himself, giving as much dignity to himself as he can.
Yep. But the accidental flecks are hard to miss for those who are paying attention. But you gather together once more outside the bar. Outside, beside your two vehicles, because we have, I believe, Alex's vehicle and Dorian's vehicle at the bar right now.
No, it would be Aaron's vehicle.
It has to be Aaron's vehicle because the headlights.
Okay. So Aaron's vehicle and Dorian's vehicle, the beat up old truck and the slightly fancy SUV.
Oh, that was a bus.
Yeah, he didn't seem too keen on me.
No, not at all.
Man.
He is. He's very interesting.
It's all fine, though. Didn't necessarily want to beat around the bush. He made it clear where he stands on it. On me. So, no issues trying to convince him either way. Just steer clear of each other. Just for the time being.
Admittedly, I was a little bit disappointed.
Would have liked to stay longer and chat a little bit more, but, well, I ran out of drink. Also, well, Miss Alexandra, thank you. I appreciate the opportunities to be getting to know the folks around these parts. I did ask you, and you've carried out that duty well enough.
Of course. It's my pleasure. After all, can't have two new faces wandering around making a mess. Especially when Shriek and I have put in so much work, mostly Shriek, to keep this area functioning nice.
What exactly is y'all's goals?
Right now, honestly, no idea.
Stripped off your post and, well, more or less thrown back out on the streets. Nothing but the clothes on your backs. A little bit of freedom in that, I say.
Well, I wouldn't say we've been stripped. Frankly, I want to see this area thrive. I want to see those of us within it go beyond the expectation that's been placed. I want to see us all truly earn our place. We're not just out. We're not trash. Everyone in this area has worth.
It's an admirable thought.
Truthful thought. The only problem is figuring out how best put everybody's strength to use. And then earning the trust to allow us to guide them to where they need to be.
Well, I'd wager. Sounds like maybe there's a little bit of a, food crisis going on.
Has been ever since we first stepped.
There's two ways to handle that. One of them ain't so ripe.
I would certainly like to hear your thought, Mr.
Well, gonna be honest, never been much one of a thinker. I prefer easy answers. Let's see. There's population issues and in any sort of given area. It's usually an answer in the governance. You either fend for yourself or, I guess, oh, hell.
I think I know what you're trying to say. All the different roads lead into two different things. You either increase supply or reduce demand.
Right. And right now, I have no doubt, thought is leaning to reducing demand.
That is what I'm trying to avoid.
People in this area are considered disposable. That is the sad truth. We are each considered trouble. Nobody wants to be here because of it. We all have reasons why we're here. It makes it difficult. It makes everybody distrust one another. It makes it hard to get everybody working as a cohesive unit.
I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people want.
Could you imagine, though, if all of Arlington could function together as a cohesive unit? Spectacular it would be.
You can see why I think that there's potential here. And he'll just get that big grin back on his face.
I agree. There is potential for something great. Just need experience and knowledge to pull it off.
Well, if that's the case, how about we start among ourselves?
Amelius.
I'm a man of means. I know combat. I know how to maintain certain things. I know how to find folks, get around on the streets. I ain't exactly the most political minded, or hell, most of my understanding of our kind is, well, limited storybook tales. Probably at best there.
That'll your general experience. Hard.
I've only needed my 2 hands and my 2 legs. Not much else. So comparatively, yourself, Miss Alexandra, an intelligent, terrifying woman that you are, and yourself, Mr. Resner, charming gentleman that you portray yourself to be. If I might make the suggestion, start learning from each other. Lead by example, as they say.
Well, that was what I was proposing the first day that we met. We just have to build the trust and relationships to accomplish that.
Alright. And either of you know how to use a gun?
A little.
I happen to know how to use it a lot. And,
Mr. Winters, I'm Australian. I have never put my hands on a gun.
oh. Ooh.
You're in Texas now. We're gonna have
Yes.
to check that.
I pity the sentiment. Alright, we're fixing that. Come on. Get in my truck. We're going back to my place. I'll hook you all up. Mr. Resner, if you could do me the honors of helping me replenish my supply, and I'll hand you off some gear.
I can do that.
Mighty fine of you.
Really don't
And so
think I need a gun.
yeah. Aaron's like, give me money and I'll give you guys my gun stash. Everything except the shotgun. The shotgun is the sawed-off shotgun. It's Winter's family heirloom.
And I think with that, we are going to call it the session for tonight. The rest of the evening spent training Aaron spent training Alex and Dorian as much as possible with the little time that he has to be able to safely load and possibly fire a gun.
That's the funny thing. The Aussie's like, I have never even held a gun. The two Texans are like, wait, what?
We're
Oh,
like,
hell no.
oh no, we gotta fix that.
Fun fact, I too have never held a gun in my life.
If you ever come to America, I'm changing that.
Oh god.
I am, however, a mean shot with a bow.
Hey! Nice.
Practice good safety, folks.
Definitely.
But
I think you would have a blast going out and shooting clay pigeons. Haha, shotgun joke.
well, that concludes our session for tonight, and we'll begin a new night the next time that we do meet for Vampire the Masquerade once again. But we have some experience to dish out. It's because we have 3 players today. Everybody gets their 1 for showing up. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yay. For
Guys.
2, we will talk about the roleplay prompts. So, we're going to talk about who moved the plot the furthest, who had our best scene, and who had our best line from tonight. So, who moved plot?
I'm gonna have to give it to Alex.
I'm not gonna argue that.
Brought us to some relevant points. Introduced us to Gerard. That's gonna be... I feel like that's gonna be complicated later.
Yeah, I could maybe make an argument for Dorian for some side hustle, but yeah, I'll
It's
give it
true.
to Alex. Because he was trying to wheel and deal with everybody he met.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It really is true.
But yeah, if you guys think, I'll go with the group's consensus.
All right. Well, Alex it is. And I'm glad you guys love Gerard.
I do. I love Gerard so much.
I didn't expect for him to turn into a very lovable NPC in this game, but here you are.
Poor
He is our
guy.
old man.
Just Aaron walking in the room and just being like triggering the fuck out of him. I feel so bad.
Aaron existing, Gerard triggered.
Inner Bruhago Burr. Inner Gerard.
See Gerard's
Bruhago
vibrating.
Burr.
Yeah, he's like
Bouncing
trying
leg.
not to break his glass, and Aaron's just like. So about that hockey game. It's like, I know what you are, you bitch.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
All right.
Also, that's my line for the night. Is just that precisely is Gerard hounding Aaron, dagger eyes, and Aaron's just like sipping his fucking beer.
I was gonna give the best line to Aaron for the "oh shit, the bullets" at the very start of the bloody game. That cracked me up.
I was gonna go for my one of like, well, he doesn't have to have a fist behind his beard, does he? Making a Chuck Norris joke.
Oh damn it! I missed that. I was so
all
quiet.
did.
I missed it.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that serves for the best line, as Aaron gets it. But
Yay!
But who had our best scene?
Best
That's
scene?
Dorian.
I'm gonna say Dorian.
Rather unanimously.
Yeah.
Well, that's majority anyway, whether the fat guy likes it or not.
It's definitely a lot of it was at the beginning, where it was like going through his daily process, talking with Liliana. It just was like an ongoing scene of like learning how Dorian kind of operates and where like just kind of settling into that awkward zone of realizing he's like a fish out of water, and
He's
that's
not in downtown anymore.
He's not in downtown.
He does not have all of his the resources he's used to, and he has to reestablish himself.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of intrigue behind seeing him venture more in this like vulnerable position, but still having to like put on that front, still having to be stoic, still having to demand that degree of
dignitas.
respect.
Yep.
Dignitas, yeah.
Yep.
So I definitely give it to Dorian, even though Fat Guy, you felt really conflicted about it.
It was one of those things like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job.
You're doing a great job, dude.
I'm white knuckling the fuck out of this.
That's the Ventru. That's the Ventru experience. White knuckling.
It's just being really angry all the time and really frustrated, and not being able to do shit about it. Like, you can do shit about it, but the moment you do, you're a tyrant. And you gotta, like, every single discussion, every single moment is just trying to levy that experience of, like, all right,
part of me
I
wanted to, yeah, part of me really wanted that to turn south, that beginning part with the,
with Terry and Charity.
Yeah, because, like, I had a plan, if that turned south, of how I would make things, settle things, but it would have been fun.
See, and that's the thing, is it's easy to be the tyrant.
It really
but
is.
being the leader, being the king is fucking hard, dude.
Oh my god.
And that is the true Venture experience.
An anonymous gifter just gifted 3 tier 1 subs.
Hey!
Yay! Yay! Thanks, guys. Thanks out there. I love you.
I'm just happy people are voting tonight.
Yep, people are voting tonight, and we've got anonymous giving out some gift subs.
Okay.
Better than them just hacking everything. They just give away some stuff too.
Give the CoffeeCat hype to the anonymous gifter for gift subs.
Thank you, viewers.
Aaron, you're the favorite.
Wow! Thank you. They like me. They really like me. They like their Texas cowboy man.
Velocity contributed 3,000 channel points towards this towards the votes tonight. So, thanks.
Thanks, Velocity.
The one thing I don't like about playing Dorian is he has to be more proper, so I cannot lean into my smartass self as much as I usually do.
Oh,
you can still be a smartass and still be respectful.
How you do it.
Yeah, it's a different kind. It's a different
brand.
Yeah. I am just cheap and vulgar, very much.
Well, we love you that way, so don't change. But that does it for us here at CoffeeCat Presents. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again for the anonymous gifter gifting out some gift subs. If you're on YouTube and you're not following on Twitch, you should, and come watch us live on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central Time right now. We might actually, I'll have to discuss this with you guys again, but we'll have to discuss time frame again, because my shift is changing yet again.
Yeehaw.
My day job is having its way with me. But yeah, there's that. And if you are on Twitch, you should follow us on YouTube, because that's where I post all of the VODs. So if you missed anything, you should go and give that a subscribe, because we are ever so growing. And leave a comment and a like if you're there to let us know your feedback on what you thought was the favorite of the night at the end of the session. Or if you have, feedback on what you want to see on that channel, definitely leave a comment, and I will read them, because I barely get any comments. So you can guarantee I will be reading them. But yeah, follow us everywhere. We're also on Discord that Ravenstar just posted to. So if you're not on Discord yet, just go join the Discord. That's where I post all the announcements, including when VODs get posted, with the coffee bot. So you can join us there. We do art stuff. I basically use it as a way to keep y'all updated as to when I'm going live and when I'm posting VODs. And so yeah, that's the best way to keep up to date, because I don't use any other social media. So yeah. But with that being said, with my lovely cast members. I'm glad that you came to play, and to my audience, I'm glad that you all came to watch. Let's find out if there's somebody to raid, and then we will find. Uh, uh, we will be back hopefully on Saturday with Rebirth to do more D&D, and again next Wednesday for more of Blood and Iron. So say goodnight, everybody.
Good evening. No one talking once.
Oh,
A Lasombra and a Tremere walk into a bar.
just remember when Gerard Norris does a push-up, he does not push himself up, he pushes the world down.
It's true.